I'm concerned we're about to see the biggest wave of mediocre websites in history. Not because designers can't design, and not because business owners have stopped caring, but because we're asking AI to do one thing that it's not very good at: strategy. So funny things sort of happened in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I suppose, as I've had 2 separate clients in completely separate industries, completely unrelated, different locations, send me mock-ups of new homepages that they'd like made, both generated via ChatGPT. And if I've got them on the screen at the moment, I've blurred them out to sort of anonymise them a little bit. But you can see, we've got the hero section at the top, which is fine. And then a row of 5 icons here and a row of 5 icons there. And then an image with some text there and a few images there with some text. Then another row of icons followed by another row of icons. You can see how there's similar patterns appearing across both of these 2 mock-ups. Now, the thing about this is that in both these examples, content didn't exist for any of these icons or some of the calls to action or any of the actual bits that were on the homepage. And so what's happening is we're asking AI or ChatGPT to generate outputs without first thinking about whether it's even relevant to the business or not. So I've got a few concerns about that. And we can sort of summarize that across these 5 points here. Firstly, AI optimizes for probability, not originality. So what it's doing is if you ask for a homepage mock-up for a financial planner, for example, it's going to give you an average homepage for a financial planner based upon all of the financial planner websites that it has in its data set. It won't be the best, it won't be the worst, it's just the average across all of them. Which leads into the second point, is that AI does not know your competitive advantage. Why choose you? Why are you better? Why are you different? It's not taking into account any of that. It's just producing an average website for a financial planner. AI doesn't know your customers. Is there a specific segment of the market that you would like to have as your ideal customer? AI at this point is not doing anything to specifically appeal to those people or to repel people that are the opposite of your ideal customer for that matter either. Every business has constraints that AI doesn't know. Is there services that you just don't do or don't offer? Are there locations that you don't visit? Are there things that you don't do that are common in the industry? Might be one of the things that separates you from your competitors, mind you. But on that homepage mock-up, guess what AI is going to do? It's going to stick it there anyway because it's looking at an average across your industry. And the last one here that's probably the most important is that AI creates confidence, not correctness. If you've ever used any large language model chatbot, doesn't matter what flavor they are, they're all the same. They'll answer you very confidently and tell you how what you've asked it is a fantastic idea and everything's great and wonderful and rainbows and unicorns. But quite often it doesn't mean it's the right thing. And this is a real trap that you need to avoid. Just because AI chatbot gives it to you really quickly and it looks polished does not mean it's right. So moving on from that a bit, here's where it can help. Let me just tuck that one out of the way. So doing this sort of exercise can be useful if you're staring at a blank page and you just don't know where to start. What it generates will probably be right in parts, but wrong in parts, but at least it gives you a starting point to think about. The mistake here is taking the first thing it gives you and going, yep, that's it. Got to look at these things and find out or identify what you like, what you don't like, what's relevant, what's not relevant. You've got to put your thought process and your reasoning over the top of what it gives you. In some circumstances, it can also expose some blind spots as well. Like if it throws an FAQ on your homepage and you don't have one, but you look at that and go, you know, clients ask us this all the time. I answer these 5 questions every day of the week, all the time. Well, that's a blind spot that maybe you can address. However, if you don't have those sorts of questions, there's no need to stick it there just because ChatGPT says you should. If we were to summarize it or keep one rule in mind, is that AI is an amplifier, not a strategist. And this leads back to what I was saying before, how it will confidently tell you that everything you're doing is great and this is wonderful and this is going to be a fix. if your reasoning at the start is either wrong or absent, it will just amplify the absence of thought or the incorrect thought like an echo chamber. So be really careful of that. If you're not applying your own thought and your own reasoning at the start, and it's just amplifying a lack of knowledge, that's not a good place to be either. So I saw this post on LinkedIn this morning, which also got me thinking about it. So the original author here, Alex Smith, starting to feel like AI usage comes down to one simple question: do you know what good looks like? If you do, it works great. If you don't, it's disastrous. So tying in that amplification thing, if you know your stuff already, AI can apply leverage and productivity benefits to you. But if you don't actually know what good looks like, if you're using it to do something that's outside your area of expertise, here be dragons. To put it another way, if you were cooking a new lasagna recipe, you've never cooked before, you don't really know what all of the ingredients are, and Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini or whoever you're using gives you the lasagna recipe and tells you to put anchovies and pineapple in it. Now, if you've spent any time in a kitchen at all and know the ingredients, you'd look at it and go, that's a bit weird, I don't think I'm going to try that one out. But if you're completely new to cooking and haven't cooked before and you don't know the ingredients, and you throw anchovies and pineapple in your lasagna recipe, you're like, that's put me off lunch now, let's move on. So instead, thinking about using AI as your sparring partner. So I've got a kind of list of questions on the screen here that you might want to ask yourself before you even open it up. You know, who am I trying to attract? Who am I trying to repel? What makes us better? And you need to define what better is to start off with. What misconceptions do people have about, you know, our business or our industry? What objections do we need to address? And what action do I want visitors to take? Think about those things first. You know your clients, you know your business, you should know your competitive landscape. Think about those things first before you even think about asking ChatGPT about them. And then ask it, and this is one of my favorite things, here is my thinking, challenge it, tell me what I've missed, help me communicate it more clearly. You're better off asking it to find your blind spots and things you've forgotten or missed out rather than just reinforcing every harebrained idea that you might come up with. So there's a real risk-reward relationship or a balance here you need to address. So the risk is that it replies to us so confidently with its answers that we stop questioning it. We're outsourcing our thinking to a large language model that is just designed to predict the probability of what the next sentence will be. It's not actually doing any thinking, and if you're outsourcing your thinking to it, that can be risky. But the reward is if you use it to help you execute your thinking. Do your thinking first, decide what's important, what's relevant, what's not. Help it to execute your thinking, and that's where you can get some productivity benefits, but don't outsource your thinking to it. A lazy prompt and a lazy piece of input will get you very mediocre results back. So I guess that's the crux of what I'm trying to say in this video today, is that make sure you think about your input before you ask it to do anything. And if it's not your area of expertise or it's not something that you have any speciality in, it's probably more dangerous than useful at this point. May get better in the future, but as at today, you do the thinking, don't outsource it. Did I cover everything in here? I think so. That'll do. See you next time.